Hey everyone, unprecedented images of 3I/Atlas have just arrived that completely change our understanding of this mysterious object. These last-minute observations were captured on the 11th of November, 2025, and show something absolutely surprising. 3I/Atlas remains as a single body with no evidence of fragmentation after its perihelion passage 2 weeks earlier. The images you're seeing now were obtained by David Jewett and Jane Liu using the Nordic Optical Telescope with a primary mirror of 2.56 meters in diameter, located at La Palma in the Canary Islands. And this, folks, changes everything. But what do these new images really mean? Well, Avi Loeb just published a devastating article on his blog analyzing these observations, and the results are simply explosive. Loeb not only confirmed that the object remained intact, but made calculations that destroy any conventional explanation about the nature of this interstellar visitor. Let's dive into the analysis that could change our understanding of what's really visiting our solar system. According to Loeb, the glow surrounding 3I/Atlas shows a prominent elongation that projects to a position angle of 106 degrees, very close to the projected sunward direction of 115 degrees. This resembles the image obtained by the Hubble Space Telescope on July 21, 2025, which already showed an anti-tail pointing toward the Sun. The new image also shows a weaker asymmetry at an angle of 301 degrees, close to the projected anti-solar direction of 295 degrees. At the time of observation, 3I/Atlas was at 1.43 astronomical units from the Sun and 2.16 astronomical units from Earth. To give you a sense of scale, the image region is approximately 500,000 kilometers wide. Loeb explains that the long-range jet structures evident in recent wide-field images are not visible in this data, probably because they were taken through an R-band filter that excluded most of the gaseous emission lines from the jets. And now comes the part where Loeb destroys the logic. He writes that, given the large-scale jets reported recently, the fact that 3I/Atlas remains as a single body is profoundly surprising for a natural comet. Pay attention to these impressive numbers that Loeb cites. Large-scale images of 3I/Atlas showed jets extending approximately 1 million kilometers toward the Sun and an impressive 3 million kilometers in the opposite direction. For a natural comet, Loeb explains that the outflow velocity of the jets would be about 0.4 kilometers per second, on the order of the sound speed of gas at 3I/Atlas's distance from the Sun. At that speed, the jets would have to persist for a period of 1 to 3 months to reach these distances. But this is where Loeb's calculations become absolutely devastating. Given that the jets toward the Sun were stopped by the solar wind at a distance of 1 million kilometers, Avi Loeb calculated that their mass density is a few million proton masses per cubic centimeter at that distance from 3I/Atlas. The product of this mass density and the outflow speed implies a colossal mass flux of 5 billion tons per month per area of 1 million kilometers on a side. Now pay attention to what comes next, because this destroys any conventional explanation about natural comets. The sublimation of carbon dioxide ice requires an energy of 600 joules per G. To sublimate approximately 5 billion tons of CO2 during the 1-month perihelion passage period, 3I/Atlas would have had to receive at least 3 times 10 to the 18th power joules of energy. At its perihelion distance, the Sun provided 700 joules per square meter per second. To absorb all this energy, an absorbing area larger than 1,600 square kilometers would be required. This is equivalent to the area of a sphere with a diameter of 23 kilometers, 4 times larger than the maximum diameter of 5.6 kilometers estimated for 3I/Atlas from Hubble Space Telescope data. And if it were water ice instead of carbon dioxide, the required diameter would jump to an incredible 51 kilometers. Avi Loeb then explains a crucial detail. On natural cometary nuclei, the pockets of ice often cover only a small fraction of the total surface. This makes the numbers he calculated completely untenable for 3I/Atlas as a single body that maintained its integrity and did not break up into numerous fragments. In other words, a natural comet simply cannot produce this amount of ejected material while remaining intact with the observed size. And then Avi Loeb goes straight to the point with a devastating critique. This raises a new anomaly of 3I/Atlas, that must be explained by those who wish to shove the anomalies of 3I/Atlas under the carpet of traditional knowledge on solar system comets, rather than consider alternatives. Avi Loeb then quotes Albert Einstein. Knowledge is realizing that the street is one way. Wisdom is looking in both directions. Anyway, as Loeb makes clear, there's a fundamental new anomaly that needs to be explained. And maybe it's time to look both ways down the street, as Einstein suggested. What do you think about Loeb's new analysis? Do the numbers convince you that something is fundamentally wrong with our understanding of 3I/Atlas? Leave your theories in the comments and subscribe to the channel because this story is far from over.